Alright, so let's speed paint Imperial Guard. So we're just gonna do one in this video, but the key to this is you want to do all of the Imperial Guard, okay? The entire guard at the same time. That's the goal. If you play Imperial Guard, you're never gonna have just one trooper. These don't exist. They come in handfuls. So you want a system that allows you to paint like a lot of them fast. This is the system. At least this is mine, okay? If you like it, you like it. If you don't, go find yourself another system. It's fine. And this starts with leather brown here, and this we sprayed canned this leather brown because it goes fast. Again, line up all of them guards, spray away, good to go. And then we kind of touched up like where the spray might have missed, and that's one. And then we airbrushed with this little skeleton bone. And if you don't have an airbrush, you can just dry brush this. It's pretty much the same thing. We did the entire thing with no funny business, okay? All of the skeleton bone just out there, so we get like a little bit of a, just a little bit of contrast on there. And now you're going to need basically 4 regular paints, 1 contrast paint, and a couple of shades to do this. So it's very easy. It's not requiring you to buy a whole lot. So you need these 2 bone colors, 5 other pots, and like 1 or 2 shades at most. And we are good to go. So once our model is like this, we're going to use Castellan Green or Army Green if you like Army Painter. I like Castellan Green a little better just because it covers more. And we're going to do all of the armor with this. So we'll try to make sense of this, and we'll start at the top and we'll work our way down. And at this point in time, you can be untidy a little bit as long as it's not on like the uniform, right? So whatever we did in bone, it needs to stay bone, but all these other parts, whatever, life happens, okay? And one cool idea that I found online was doing all of these little sleeping bags or whatever, the cloth or the comforter that they have on their little backpack there. You can do them a different color for squad marking. I thought it was like a kind of a smart idea, as if you don't want to work with decals and whatnot. I thought it was like a smart little alternative, so you get like a green unit, a red unit, a blue unit of like their little tarp situation. I think this is a personal issued body bag. that is very that's the Imperial Guard way, I think. You might be correct there. We're good to go here with this. I'm happy with this. Not too much, not too little. All of this done. I'm happy with this for the green. Not a lot of skin going on. There's the face and the hands. And for this, I'm using Bugman's Glow. Plenty of good options, but I like Bugman's Glow as a whole. Again, it covers really well with just one pass. And again, so here on the hand is the same thing. I don't mind like putting the skin color on the gun, but I definitely don't want to put it on the sleeve. So like I'm very careful around the sleeve, but around the gun, it's like whatever happens, happens. Okay, so skin, very easy, very straightforward. Next up, we're going to do gun metal. And you can use any dark silver that you like. Lead Belcher is pretty good. I have gun metal here, so we're going to use that one. Dark silver is pretty catch-all. It's one of the kind of the easier color, like almost all of the ranges have a good one. And so as you go, you have to be a little bit more careful about a lot more of the things, right? Because, now I want to be careful around the hand, and I want to be careful around the cloth, and basically now I want to be careful about everything, because everything is practically painted except like the accessories. So now we're going to do a final touch-up on this like bone color. with actual the bone color. So every place where maybe you slipped a little bit, just touch it up. You can and if you notice mistakes, now is kind of a good time to fix them before moving forward. Did a good job being clean, but that's okay. That's why we do it in this step, and this is also why this step here is a little bit counterintuitive. Okay, we're gonna do contrast with wildwood, and this is for all the belts and all the doodads. So like a lot of this mini, and the reason we don't do this earlier, which wouldn't make sense in our like dress up process, is because contrast is a lot harder to touch up correctly. Because if you fuck up on the contrast, you have to do the base coat, you have to fix the contrast. It's like a tedious process. So instead, we want to do it last when we have to be very careful at it, but at least we know that we probably won't have any touch-ups to do. We're going to go here and so we have to be careful. Again, this now we're taking our time, okay? This is no longer, well, it's still a speed painted technique, but this is, now we have to be careful. This is potent stuff right there, and it will fuck up if you don't, if you're not careful with it. And this technique here, the fact that we're using contrast, it works because our main color at this point is still very, very light, right? That's why all the belts and whatnot are still in our bone, like two color combo thing. So it's very light. So our contrast actually does like the contrast thing, and it's a little bit it's somewhat similar to like that slap chop thing, if you know that, where instead of like black and white, it's like dark brown and bone color, right? And you're gonna be pretty generous here. I am not too dainty with it, because I really like this dark brown. And if we do like a big heavy coat, we probably won't need to shade this, because if you do a light coat, it might end up like light, and then you have to add your shade, which is not the end of the world, because we do intend to shade a lot of the other parts on this mini. But if we can kind of avoid it, well, more power to us. Backpack section right here. Right. So now we have basically, like, this would be like a playable miniature. You go with a Grok Searchade. You can't read because my pot's all messy, but you go with a Grok Searchade and you slam it on there. Why? Because it works with everything. It works on the skin. It works on the green. It works on the little cloth. It works on the silver. Okay? One step, it works. So instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to add one shade on everything except our brown, like our wild wood. We're happy how it is at the moment. Maybe we add some later. We'll see. So our brown, what we're going to do is we're going to paint the green and the skin tone with our brown shading here, our Grok's Earthshade. And now we can be pretty savvy. Okay, you don't need to put a lot on there. Because it goes a long way here. And that's also why we use the Bugman's Glow. One other reason, it covers well, but it also, all these colors work with a Grok's Earthshade. Where if I use like a super light color, it would not have looked proper with the Grok's Earthshade, like super fast technique. But we're going to do Seraphim Sepia. And Seraphim Sepia is for the uniform. So everything that's like a sand color, like the cloth and stuff, Seraphim Sepia is where it's at. It's a nice little yellowish color. And this one I'm going very lightly, because I actually like the sand color with not too much yellow. But I do want to add a little bit more contrast to it, so you gotta add your little contrast to it, okay? Oh, I think we forgot the knee pads here. Oops. We'll go back after this. We'll finish the sepia and we'll... Oh my, there's plenty of mistakes. Look at that boot. That boot's not even painted correctly. All the mistakes. That's what happens when we go fast here. There we go. So now we have the little sepia. And now we got a black, and the black is basically for the silver. Now, if you went too light on like the boots and stuff, now's a good time. That's why I did it last, is because I wanted to see the brown dry and see where kind of how it was. And I think it's dark enough, and it's got like a good contrast to it. So I don't think we need to add it to the brown. So we're really just gonna add it to the silver parts. And you could also use Black Templar if you want like less shiny in your silver. You can use Black Templar. It's gonna give us like a darker coat to your silver, which some people like that. I don't mind either way. I think it's fine like this. So obviously now a couple things left here. So, for example, if you find the skin too dark at this stage here, I'm happy with this because it doesn't matter too much to me. But if you find it too dark, you can give it like an extra little highlight, which we can do now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our small brush and our silver, and we're going to do a couple of these like buttons that we painted over. Because now it makes the backpack look complete, when it's got all the little details completely done. All we need to do is remove them from this base here. There we go, tactical breakage, and place it on a base that we're going to use for realsies, which I like the city fight ones. I'm not too sure why I used those, but I like them. I think they're gonna be a nice little army there on those little city fight bases. So I'm happy with this. I want to put him at the back of the base because that adds a lot to the movement of our mini, and it holds just fine because he's like leaning forward a little bit. So I'm pretty happy with this. And now, lo and behold, in about hardly 30 minutes, we have a little tactical guardsman ready to die for the Emperor.